Hi guys, how are you today? I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. For those of you who are new, my name is Eva. And for those of you who are returning, as always, thank you so much for coming back. Welcome to another MLM shit show. Take a look at the graph if you've been enjoying my content for a while. I would really appreciate if you click that like and subscribe button. It would really help me out a lot. And today we are back to talk about our favorite, or I think probably one of our favorite MLM coaches, or should I say network marketing coaches. We've done a few videos on him before. He's quite problematic in my own opinion, and what we're going through today is his training called Network Marketing Training 7 Deadly Sins in Network Marketing. So this is gonna get interesting. Another lunch break, another day, so let's just get straight into this video. But of course, before that, I'm just going to put a little disclaimer. All right, so let's begin.
The 7 deadly sins in network marketing. Now, why would I want to talk about this? Here's why. If you're going to be around this profession for a while, wouldn't it be helpful to know some of the things to avoid? Wouldn't it be helpful, if you're going to have a long career here, to understand the things that will absolutely rip an organization apart, will take your efforts and diminish those efforts? Wouldn't it be important to know that? And maybe if you're engaging in one or more of these activities now, and you don't even realize that they are deadly to your long-term success, wouldn't it be helpful to know? Yeah, I've been involved in the network marketing profession since 1988, a long time. I've engaged in almost all of these 7 deadly sins. So I know from experience that if you're around long enough, you're gonna have the temptation. Sometimes it's because of ambition, sometimes it's just because of lack of knowledge. But after watching this video today, you won't have the lack of knowledge anymore. You'll at least know the things that over time will have a negative impact on your business. I want you to become network marketing professionals. I want you to go to the top. I want you to have a smooth career. I want you to build something and have it last for a long time. So let's talk about deadly sin number 1. Deadly sin number 1 is overinflating your product or your opportunity. We've talked about this before, this idea of hyping up the product is magical cures, and using language that you shouldn't use when it comes to what your product can do or cannot do. Making sure that you're in alignment with what your company says that you can claim when it comes to your product. When you overinflate it, in order to get a customer or in order to sign up a distributor, and you know you're overinflating it, it eats at you and it also affects your credibility. Now, when it comes to the opportunity, it's very subtle how this happens. Usually it starts with kind of exaggerating your income. You take your best month and you tell everybody that's what you're making all the time. Maybe you only made that 1 month because of a special bonus or something. You lie about your income, or somebody else maybe tells a friend in front of you, they tell a friend about how much you're making, and it's more than what you're making, and you don't correct them. And when you don't correct them, all of a sudden now you find yourself painted into this box where you are living a false reality and you're promoting a false reality. Maybe you've qualified at one rank 1 month, but then you drop down a couple ranks, which is normal. It happens all the time. Nothing to be ashamed of. But you're telling the world that because you qualified that 1 month at that rank, that you are kind of earning more than you're actually really earning.
Okay, well, at least he's telling some good advice here. And unfortunately, this is something that happens really often in network marketing, especially on social media, on Instagram, where people like to exaggerate. First of all, what the product does itself. Like, we've seen so many posts, so many videos be like, oh, you have belly issues? Arbonne products deal with all of that. Oh, you have, I don't know what issues, hormonal issues. Oh, Herbalife is gonna fix all of that. And like, no, it's not. It's obviously not going to do that. Those products are not gonna do anything. I'm not even gonna mention the horror story that we had where a lady was saying that Herbalife products sent her cancer into remission. So it's really weird. It can get really messy with the amount of lies that people tell online, representatives. And also with the income, there's always an issue with that as well, because they like to show their paychecks and be like, this is what you get every week or whatever, and they're like top 1%. It happens without a disclaimer sometimes as well. In my personal opinion, this is something that shouldn't be shared online. Like, you shouldn't share how much money you're earning, you know, especially if you're only sharing it just so that you attract people and recruit more people into your team. So obviously it's not ethical, but let's see what else he has to say.
Yes. Inside of network marketing, the truth is enough. There's no need to exaggerate your success. There's no need to exaggerate the quickness of success of other people in the organization. There's no need to exaggerate or take one person that had magical success and make them the entire story for the whole company. The truth is enough when it comes to the financial opportunity. The truth is enough when it comes to your products. When you engage in overinflation and exaggeration, it has an impact on your organization, and people start saying, man, everybody's saying this, but I know it's not true. Everybody's claiming that, but I know it's not true. This person's saying they're making this amount of money, but they know it's not true. And once they have that knowledge, that untruth, lies are being allowed within the culture, it starts to erode their self-esteem. The truth is enough. It's okay. Okay?
Okay, well, I would highly disagree with this, though, that, I mean, of course, you should never exaggerate or lie about how much money you earn, stuff like that. However, the truth is enough. So across all network marketing companies, right, usually 80 to 99% of people are earning $0 to like $400 or something per year. So are you telling me that if this average, unfortunately, the average rep earns very little to nothing in MLMs, are you saying that if they shared this so openly, be like, hey, you can join my team, you can hustle all day, every day, and you can get $0 to $400 per year for all the hustle? I mean, come on, if they were saying that online, obviously no one would join them. Again, I'm not saying that it's okay to lie, but we can see why they're lying and why they're exaggerating, because if they were telling the truth, how it actually is and how much money they're actually earning, no one would ever join them, because who wants to hustle every single day for barely like $400 per year? But anyways.
And I struggled with this one my entire career in network marketing. When I built in the field, I'm retired permanently now, doing what I'm doing with you now. But when I built as a distributor in the field, and the biggest thing that I see, whether you're a brand new or you're a more established leader, is inconsistency. Hot and cold, hot and cold. You get all excited, you go to a conference, you get all excited, you come out and you're going to tear up the world. 2 weeks later, you just disappear from your group for a week, 2, 3 weeks. Then you re-engage. Hey, we're going to go after it this weekend. And you go after it for 3 days, and then boom, you're gone for 2 weeks. So rather than putting in a consistent effort in the hours that you have, you're hot and cold. And what happens when a person is hot and cold is the team starts to lose faith in following their initiative. If you're inconsistent for long enough, you say, hey, everybody, let's go tear it up. And no one will follow, because they are afraid that if they do, and you're not going to be there 3 days from now, they're going to be unhappy about that decision. And number 3 is negativity. Now, it might be a negative posture. You're kind of mopey. You're kind of, always looking at the negative. You like to gossip. You like to talk about other people. You like to spread these little stories around. Or your company goes through changes and you don't handle it very well. You talk about, well, the company screwed up with this, or then my upline screwed up with that. So you talk negatively about other people. You talk negatively about your company if they're going through change, compensation plan, product, something changed and you didn't like it. You tell the world, that becomes part of your brand. Negativity becomes part of your brand. People start knowing you as a negative person. And I will tell you, a leader cannot stay in that negative state and be a leader. You cannot do it. You become somebody that real leaders start to avoid. And that includes the people in your organization. They'll start to avoid you. You say, well, no, but I'm right. The company shouldn't have done this, and I'm right, and the company shouldn't have done that. That's fine. It doesn't matter what happens in your organization. What matters is what you do with what happens. how you respond to what happens. And you can have a choice of having a negative culture, a negative vibe, a negative posture, a negative mindset, or a problem-solving, opportunistic situation when it comes to your mindset. So you can be negative, you can be positive. That's a choice. Negativity will crush an organization.
Okay, well, sure. Stuff happens, right? Shit happens in every company. It is very important how you're going to react to a problem or an issue that comes up in your company. And I'm saying in your company. But when it comes to MLMs, usually what they mean when they say negativity is literally, we've heard former reps' stories on this. If you try to ask questions, or if you're a little bit skeptical about something, or if you need a little bit more information about something in this business, usually you're going to be told, hey, you're being negative. And this is something that we've seen happen so often in network marketing. You just asking questions and saying, well, wait, this doesn't look right. They're going to call you or label you as negative, which there's a big difference in just having more questions or suspicions about a business model or how something works, and being like negative and reacting to problems and issues in a bad way, non-productive way, right? So since this is an MLM coach, I feel like this was, yeah, shit's gonna happen, you know, your company is gonna do something that you don't like, but shut your mouth. Don't say that to other people. Don't badmouth the company or your upline or whatever. Just stay silent, pretend that everything's great, because if you say what it actually is, people are not going to want to join you. So that's just how I interpret this part. You can let me know down below if you agree with that.
Is the idea of the week. A leader gets really excited. They get this technique and they just go crazy. And here's the idea. And they tell everybody in the whole organization, here's what we're going to do. A week later, they say, no, now we're not doing that anymore. Now we're going to do this. A week goes by. Oh, that one's old now. Now we're going to do this technique. So be very careful at the things that you get excited about and maybe you haven't even tested, and that you pour those things into your organization and expect them all to have success. And then you change gears the next week. You change gears the week after that. You change gears the week after that. Whatever the system you have, be very slow to change your system, very slow to change your daily method of operation. It's really important that you provide some consistency within your organization when it comes to what you're asking them to do on a daily basis. Understand concepts remain the same. Strategies change all the time. Focus on concepts, come up with whatever the system is within your organization that works, and be very, very slow to make any changes. Even if you had 1 week's worth of success, really test things personally and away from the group before you pour it down into the organization and expect them all to follow. The idea of the week will start to erode people's confidence, and eventually they're not going to take action at all. Okay, so that's deadly sin number 4. Deadly sin number 5. You might not expect me to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it. Sleeping around within your opportunity, sleeping around within your organization, sleeping around within your company. I've seen it destroy more organizations than you can imagine. Somebody who finds themselves in a situation, whether they are married, in a relationship, not in a relationship, and they find themselves around somebody else that they find attractive, and they decide to take action on that opportunity. And maybe it's somebody in their downline. Maybe it's somebody within their organization. And eventually that turns into whatever it turns into, but there's dynamic that gets dripped into the organization. And then a person, maybe once they do it once, maybe they do it again and again. And pretty soon, especially in leadership, pretty soon everyone in the organization knows. Pretty soon everyone is talking about it. And pretty soon everyone is pulling back and stopping taking action, stopping following that leader because of what happened within the organization.
That 5th one was really unexpected, wasn't it? I mean, I don't even know what to say. First of all, yeah, of course, you should never cheat with your work colleagues or whoever. You should never cheat. You know, if you're unhappy, just break up leave the relationship. But second of all, if you're single and the person that you like is single and there are no rules that you're not allowed to hook up with someone from your team, why wouldn't you hook up with someone from your team? Like, if you're both available and if you both like each other, just why not go for it? First of all, this is just a network marketing team. This is not a real job. In my own opinion, it's not a real thing. Like, you're just investing money, losing money. You're not a business owner. It's not your business. So why not just have some fun, you know? At least if you're already there and you're losing money, but at least you like someone. And second of all, how he said that people are gonna leave your team if they find out that you hooked up with someone from your team. And I just failed to see, if I found out that two of my coworkers are together or just hooking up, would I quit my job? Like, why does that affect me, you know? I fail to see why people would leave your team if you hook up with someone. But anyway, let's just move on. That was a weird one, but interesting. I've never heard that before.
He said number 6, stealing distributors. And this one, I've had to struggle with this. Not a struggle. I mean, it's not like I was an addict or anything. But here's what would happen. I'd be having a meeting in some area and some prospect would find their way into my meeting. And they would say, hey, nobody invited me. I just found this meeting. And I'm looking for somebody to sponsor me. You know, can you be my sponsor? You know, I live in this town, you live in this town. And instead of saying, no, somebody encouraged you to come to this meeting, you didn't just magically show up, I would rationalize. I would say, yeah, well, you know, we are local and people do have a choice and all that stuff. And I'd end up signing that person up. Somebody would find out and I sent that person, you stole that person. I was like, oh my gosh, right? Or, you know, I've seen this happen in many different forms. Form number 1 is somebody else brings a prospect and that prospect finds out that they like you better than they like the person that invited them. And you have a choice whether to sign that person up or not sign that person up. In my opinion, you should never sign that person up. If you didn't bring them to the party, you do not sign them up. Okay? Situation number 2 is somebody within your company. Let's say you develop a great relationship with somebody and they say, oh, I hate my upline. They don't give me any support. They don't help at all. And you kind of go, well, maybe you sign up your spouse. Maybe you sign up one of your kids. Maybe you sign up somebody else. And I'll work with you that way. And you kind of circumvent the rules in order to be able to get that person's effort into your organization. It's devastating in its impact of what will happen within the group because everybody's going to find out. Trust me. Third instance that this happens is you find somebody who's happy in another company and you engage in an effort to make them unhappy about their decision to be involved in that company. My basic rule is, you know, because people make a decision to go from company to company justifiably sometimes. Sometimes it's the right thing to do, okay? But my rule is don't ever take someone who's happy with another company and engage in conversation and effort to make them unhappy with it. Don't plant the seed of doubt in their minds that they're with the wrong company at the wrong time. If they come over with you, it's going to be amazing. Okay? That's not what we do inside of this profession.
Well, okay. I guess some of his advice is all right. You know, they're not all bad takes. So, I mean, there's not much to say here, right? You should definitely not try to steal other people's distributors or downline to recruit into your downline, but I'm sure it happens all the time. I mean, sometimes it seems like there are no rules in network marketing, even though they're kind of trying to set some rules. Sometimes the owners, the founders would tell them, hey, don't do this. Listen, this is not okay. Don't do this. But we know that the representatives rarely ever listen to those advices, and we see income claims, lifestyle claims. We see all kinds of shit that they shouldn't be doing, that they're doing online. And they're aware that they shouldn't do it, but yeah, just don't give a shit. So let's see the deadly sin number 7.
Is distributors who bounce from company to company to company. They're always looking for the situation where the grass is greener. They have lots of fun within an organization when there's lots of momentum and things are working great, but when it becomes work, when it becomes challenging, when it becomes effort, when it's not easy, when everything's not working magically, they tend to pull up the roots that they had planted and go plant them someplace else. because they're addicted to the adrenaline of the startup. I have many friends in the profession that they cannot resist. They literally cannot resist. As soon as it gets hard, they're like, well, this other company over here has some momentum, and they pick up camp and they move over to that organization. And if you get caught, now understand, not everybody joins one company, stays with it for the rest of their career. That's fine. But I'm talking about a serial bouncer, people who bounce from company to company to company to company to company to company. It's going to create problems for you. It just is. I'm sad for the people, my friends, that go from opportunity to opportunity to opportunity because they're literally stealing from their future. They're stealing from their residual income. They're stealing from their reputation. And eventually a smaller and smaller group will follow you from the next to the next to the next, and you'll find yourself out of the profession. At least for a time being, until you're ready to come back in and just sink your teeth in and go to work. Understand this, every single company in network marketing is going to have problems. Every single company is going to go through a period of time when it doesn't have momentum. Every single company is going to have situations when they go through change and it's difficult. But moving to another company is not going to change that because the other company is going to have it too. It just might be at different times over the course of a career. Decide the company and the product line that aligns with you and decide that you're going to go through your problems with them instead of looking for a situation where there are no problems, because that does not exist. Okay? So don't be a bouncer. Don't bounce from company to company to company.
Okay, so those were our 7 deadly sins in network marketing. And like I said, some of them were good advice, okay, considering it's advice for network marketers. Some of them was weird and, in my opinion, literally non-related. No one would care, like, if you hooked up with someone from your team. So it was a little bit of a mixture of everything. But this last bit here, don't be a serial bouncer. I feel like he kind of implied that like people who bounce and change MLM companies are doing that just because they don't want to work and they don't want to put the effort in, and that's why they are failing and that's why they're not successful. So it's the usual thing that we hear so often, too often even. If you work hard, if you put a lot of effort in it, you're going to be successful, right? And it's just not true. I mean, these people are desperate and these people are bouncing because, well, maybe they don't like the product. Maybe they found a different company that their products suit them better. That's okay. That's an okay reason to bounce. But I think a lot of them in network marketing are just bouncing because they think they see a different compound plan, or they talk to a different rep and that rep says, we are different than other MLMs, you can do this and that, whatever. They're just vulnerable. They're probably desperate in most cases, and they're just looking for a company where they can put in effort and be rewarded for that effort and hard work, which, as most of us know, it's just not what happens in multi-level marketing. You just don't get rewarded based on how much effort you put in. It's just not how it works. 99% of people fail because the business model is set up for them to fail. So it has nothing to do with hard work or effort. But yeah, people do bounce, I think, mostly because they think a different company is going to be different than their current MLM company. So I guess this was a mixture of a good and a bad advice. But anyway, let me know down below if you want me to cover this specific coach more. I think I've done like 3 videos so far with his advice in it, so I might stop here with covering his stuff. But if you guys want to see more, just let me know down below and I might look into making some more videos about him in the future. But as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me a like and subscribe to my channel for more content. Thank you to all of you nice people who are supporting me. I do appreciate you guys, and if you're not coming from my social media, feel free to check me out. I'm gonna link my Instagram down below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.